friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead, and I'm getting a lot of questions on finances and budgeting and living on one income, basically on one income, which is Wolfie's income. Now, I've heard people ask about the Great Depression. Lisa wanted to know if I have ever done the envelope system. I've never even heard of the envelope system. I have my own system for budgeting, and she wanted to know what it was, and I'm going to explain it to you. Now, in 2005, Wolfie and I went bankrupt. We lost everything. I mean, you know, we went under just a couple of years before the big crash came. But since then, in 2007, we bought this house. Now, that's no small feat, folks. 2 years after a bankruptcy, buying a house is not an easy thing to do, especially when the crash was imminent and people knew it was imminent. But this house, the reason we were able to buy this house is A, it's in a fairly remote location, so not too many people can afford to live here because there's not a lot of jobs in this area. That's why Howie drives so far. Also, we came up with 50% down, and that was not an easy job. Mind you, this place was really cheap. Why? Because it was falling down and it really wasn't habitable. There was no light fixtures, there was no hot water heater, there was no heat. Most of the windows were broken. The addition was falling off. The decks were falling off. It was just a mess. We came up with 25% down. Then the company said they wanted 50% down, and a family member loaned us the other 25%, which we paid back finally on a budget. I get a brand new calendar. Now, this may seem pretty archaic, folks, but it works for me. I get a plain old calendar. And then on that calendar, I mark the days that are Howie's pay schedule. Then, on those pay schedules, on those days that the pay schedule is marked, I write down every single payment that comes out automatically. There's mortgages, there's loans, there's whatever the case may be. So what I do is the ones that are locked in to come out at a certain date, like a car payment, every 2 weeks or every month, those get written on the calendar as well. Then, once I'm done going through all the calendar, I'm marking out the pre-authorized payments and the pay schedule. I sit down and I tear up a bunch of sheets of paper like this. Now this one goes from December, there's August, September, October, November, December. Then what I do is I take these sheets of paper and I write the 3 or 2 pay periods for that month on there. And then I make a list of what is coming out of my account or what has to be paid for that pay period. And I write, because we don't always know exactly what Howie's paycheck's going to be, because he is an auto body technician and he gets paid flat rate, which means he doesn't get paid a salary. So on my strip of paper, I have for August, it was a 3 paycheck month. And I wrote down all the bills that were coming out for that paycheck and what I needed to pay. Now, I go through the month and I balance if, like, I have my pre-authorized stuff that comes out, but then there's stuff that has to be paid, like electric bills and phone bills and internet bills and all that stuff. So what I do is I stagger them throughout the 3 pays so that everybody gets paid. Okay, but one paycheck is no more burdened than the next paycheck. Okay, and as the payments come out, I check my banking and I cross them off. You can see all the lines there. I cross them off as they come out so that I know I'm sticking to my budget. What is left over is our grocery money, Wolfie's gas money to get to and from work, all those things. Someone else asked me how we manage on the one income. Everything goes in the budget. Absolutely everything. And if we ever get to a surplus, which with good management, you will. When you get to a surplus, even if it's an extra $10, you buy something extra. And I ain't talking about flat screen TVs and all that stuff. When I say extra, I mean something that's gone on sale, like mushrooms, canned mushrooms. I love canned mushrooms. So if I have an extra $10, I will buy another 6 cans of mushrooms and put them on the pantry shelf. Whenever I have a surplus, whether it's $10 or $100, I use that to buy something we need, buy extra hay, buy an extra bag of feed, or buy extra food for the pantry. It's that simple. It really is. We don't go out and spend money needlessly. Okay? Everything we spend has a purpose and a reason behind it. We went bankrupt spending money on stuff we didn't need. Okay? I think if people spent a lot more money on things they need and less money on what they want, they would come out much, much farther ahead. Much, much farther ahead. We live pretty simple. We do live pretty simple. Yes, we have a flat screen TV. Yes, I have a computer. But those things were bought with money we saved by living frugally. And one of the things of living frugally, folks, is frugally and healthy is get off prepackaged food. Get off prepackaged food. It is full of garbage. I used to get excited because I would buy instant mashed potatoes, you know, the different flavors of, you know, cheddar cheese and sour cream and onion and all that stuff. And I'd get excited when they went on for 99 cents a package, and I thought that was a great deal, and I would buy 10 of them and whatever. But it's not a good deal, folks. It's not. I use this as an example because it's the freshest one in my brain. 10 packages of 99-cent instant potatoes is 10 servings of potatoes at your table for $10. If you take that $10 and you buy a $2.49 bag of potatoes, a 99-cent bag of carrots, a $1.99 bag of onions, okay, so what are we at? $2.50, $3.50, $5.50, $6. You still got $4 left to buy a package of ground beef. And I'll tell you something, folks. You can make that $10 do probably 4 meals rather than 10 servings of one food. Think about that. Cooking from scratch with basic ingredients is your best friend to your budget. So if you want to live frugally, then, you know, make a budget. Stick to it. If you have a surplus, either stock up on one thing or make more than the minimum payment on any one of your bills. Because sooner or later, if you make more than the minimum payment on a loan or more than the minimum payment even on your electric bills, sooner or later you're going to run into a time where if you're tight, you don't have to make a payment. Those kind of things, you know, work. Cook from scratch. Stop buying prepackaged food. Shop at farmers markets. Garden if you can. Raise what you can. Or if you can't, you might know somebody who can, and you could split the difference when it comes to gardening and animals. There are a million ways to cut the fat and save the money. You just have to sit down and think about it. Think about what you need versus what you want. Take care. Bye-bye.